What is happening, everybody? Let's see what we got in store today here. Now that we're already into a brand new year, I want to actually give you guys a little bit of an update on my Reptile room tour here, because obviously we made a few changes just in the last year or so. So jumping right off to it, you guys, we're gonna go ahead and actually show my first one for the day. My girl Ariel, my beautiful ghost corn snake. And now, you guys, those of you who have been following me on my channel for the last few years obviously probably know the story about Ariel here. And I actually bought her from a reptile show several years ago when I was a teenager. And as a matter of fact, it was my very first reptile show I ever went to in my entire lifetime. I have never looked back on it whatsoever. And she was just so little back then. She might have been, how big was she? I'm trying to remember how big she was. She was a lot smaller than this, obviously. She was probably maybe like 12 inches or something like that. And she had a bit more of a cranky attitude, but over the years though, since then, she has just mellowed out and she's a lot more gentle now than she once was when I first got her. And I'm super excited now that she has lived a very good life here in this place. And she's kind of lazy, I'm not gonna lie to you. She doesn't move around a whole lot. But you guys probably do remember, she used to be in a different tank than this. It was obviously this one right here, this 20-gallon Zilla horizontal terrarium. And obviously, she outgrew that. And when I went to the Tinley Park Reptile Show last year, which I'm actually to go back later this year, by the way, I actually had to get her an upgrade because she got just too big for her other cage. So I actually, thought I heard my name. Ariel had to get an upgrade, and that's when I decided to get her this big, beautiful Zoom-Ed skyscraper terrarium here, everybody. It's about 3 foot tall and about 18 inches wide. And this thing is like literally 95% glass. So when I was getting this thing into the car and on the way home, I was nervous because obviously this thing has got glass all over on it. I was worried that if we hit like a bump or something, I thought maybe a piece of it would crack. Thank the Lord it did not, because I spent 250 bucks on this cage alone here, everyone. So it's not that cheap whatsoever. And since then, I think it's fantastic, everybody, that this cage, it's just awesome. I love it, I love it, I love it. It's awesome to see her that she's really settled in here, everybody, and she's got more room to move around in too. She can also climb up her branches here to bask up here in her little hot spot up there if she wants to, or she can actually just sit right where she's at. But yeah, that is totally one of my first animals I actually ever purchased, and she's the first snake I ever purchased at a reptile show. Alright everybody, so for the next snake here, oh, where you going? Come here. So obviously everybody, the next snake I'm gonna share with you guys, I've had her ever since the day she was born. She was just an absolute puppy dog, and she still is to this day, by the way. Obviously, here she is, my girl Lucy, the common garter snake, and it's amazing how much she's meant to me, everybody. And among of all the snakes that so far I have owned since I was young, I think she has to be #1 on my list here, because she's just had this gentle soul in her ever since she was just a little baby, and I don't know where I would be if it weren't for her, everybody. She's just absolutely a sweetheart. She's so gentle. Literally, from the moment I open her cage to when I try to pick her up, she's so gentle. She's not so, like, you know, skittish, you know, unlike some other of my animals are. But she kind of knows who I am. She knows I'm not a threat, and she knows the differences between when it's like time to socialize and when it's time to eat, And she's a pretty smart girl. And of course, you guys, she's already, she's 5 years old now. Hard to believe it. She's 5 years old, and she's just absolutely amazing. Hey. So yeah, and she's literally, no doubt, one of the friendliest snakes I've ever owned. A lot of people always think snakes as something evil or demonic, but clearly she has shown over the years that she is not like that at all. She's just a sweetheart, you guys. They're often misunderstood animals, and they just, most of the time in the wild, snakes just want to be left alone. They want usually nothing to do with people, and a lot of times snakes are solitary animals, and the only times you ever see usually snakes together is usually during their breeding season, which only happens once a year for only a short time. As for her though, garter snakes are like one of the very few snakes that are social, and you can cohab them together. But other than that, absolutely an amazing snake, everybody. And like I said, she's just only 5 years old, and hopefully I still have her 10 years from now. And like I said, she's just a sweetheart. And hopefully one day too, we can actually breed her and maybe produce some cute little baby garters one of these days. I do have her boyfriend that he's not quite as friendly, but other than that, let's go ahead and show him off. So next one on the list, everybody, is who I mentioned, Lucy's future boyfriend, Van Halen here, another common garter snake. But you can definitely tell, oh, it's okay, bud. And he, like I said, he is a bit more skirmish around people. Yeah, he's not quite as social as Lucy, but you can definitely tell he's a lot smaller because, believe it or not, with garter snakes, well, most snakes in general, males tend to stay smaller than females because obviously when it comes to like a female, for example, since the reason they get much larger is obviously because, well, I guess for one obvious reason is because a lot of the females need to reproduce somehow, and they need a lot of storage in them to actually reproduce, whether if it's like, you know, a large litter of babies, you know, that they're about to give birth, or if it's a huge clutch of eggs. Whereas males, they don't really do that, since that's why they stay a little bit smaller. But other than that, there are a few ways to tell the genders between a male and a female, but I'm not going to get into that right now. But as for Van Halen, he seems a little bit finicky right now, so I'm not... Oh, look at him. I think he's just begging right now. That's literally all he begs for is food. I don't know what to do. He is not a picky eater, but for some reason he doesn't like it when I pick him up. I've had Van Halen now for probably about a little over 3 years, and a little backstory to this, everybody. He was wild caught, by the way. Even though I do not recommend anybody, you know, if you live in an area where there are snakes, I don't recommend yourself going out into the wild and taking one home, because there's obviously bound to things happen. The snake could be carrying parasites on it, or it could be carrying a disease, or even better yet, you know, like if you bring the animal home and you place it in a terrarium with a water bowl and a hide and some bedding, chances are that animal is going to be the animal's going to be really stressed, everybody, and chances are if you keep it for a while and if it doesn't eat, that's probably going to be one of the reasons why it's really stressed. It's not going to want to eat, it just want to go back into the wild and enjoy itself out there where it was peaceful. Chances are that animal is going to perish. So yeah, not a good idea to take any random snake out of the wild, everybody. I learned my lesson on that. But he has done well, though. He has been taking pinkies. He hasn't shown any health issues whatsoever. He's just, like I said, kind of a bit more skittish. Yeah, that's the word, more skittish than most of my animals. But other than that, though, he's got a pretty good appetite. Now, right here with me, everybody, is actually the newest addition here to my group. This here, ladies and gentlemen, is my guy, Frosty. Oh, where are you going, buddy? This here, folks, is Frosty the Snowcorn Snake here. And I got him at the Tinley Park Reptile Show last year with my dad. And I was just kind of taking a look around, you know, because I actually thought about getting another snake, you guys, but not like a big one, not like a big boa constrictor or a big Burmese python or anything like that. My mom would not approve that. And I thought to myself, why don't we look for a corn snake? And that's when my eyes, literally Frosty, caught my attention and I fell in love right there. And there he was, just in a little deli cup for sale, only 60 bucks, by the way. And he was perfectly healthy, had no shedding issues, no mites or ticks on him. He was very responsive as well. And I just said, I gotta have him. I gotta have him. And after that, it's been amazing ever since. Hi, buddy. How are you? And he has been thriving like a champ, everybody. And if you guys go back to the video where I actually got him at the show, I'll leave a card up here for you guys to go ahead and check that out if you guys would like that. It's just amazing how much in size he has put on, everybody. It's crazy. Like, you guys will not believe how much smaller he was when I first got him. Compared to now, and come back to today's vlog, this is crazy. Absolutely awesome. But other than that, though, I'm hoping to maybe in a couple years, if I get my own place, I'll probably pair him up actually with Ariel too. Because I mean, think about it, you guys. The mutations between a snowcorn and a ghost corn. Oh my god, it would be amazing to see that in person. But other than that, he's just still a little baby to me. So I'm gonna definitely still got some growing on him to do. But absolutely awesome to have. So now we have actually one of my very first Pythonidae species I have ever owned, everybody. And of course we have my girl Ellie, the children's python, here on display here. And I've had her probably now for 6 years, something around there. And now the backstory about her was originally, I went to the reptile show that I told you guys about that I went to where I purchased Ariel. Well, at that exact same show, everybody, I brought a friend with me who actually bought Ariel as a little kind of like unexpected like reptile show gift. and for about a year he kept her because he just really was very interested in how small she was. And well, over the course for the months, he didn't really have much time to help take care of her, so he told me one day when I came over, he's like, hey man, I really can't take care of her anymore. Do you think you could take her in? And I instantly said absolutely. And since then I've had her in my possession, and she's a pretty good animal here, everybody, even though she does have a bit of an appetite. But when I take her out to try and socialize with her, she's pretty calm with that. And obviously she's getting big. Her enclosure definitely it's definitely time for an upgrade. You guys can probably tell by that. So I think when I go to the Tinley Park show, I am going to get a slightly bigger enclosure for her so she can have a little bit more room to move around in and stretch her body out. But other than that, she's a pretty good animal. And other than that, she is a children's python, by the way. And children's pythons, they are one of the smallest species on the planet. They don't get too much bigger than maybe like 2.5, 3 feet long at max. Now, I'm not exactly sure if she is a children's python or not, because I've had her for several years and she's still pretty small for her size. She's still like 2 foot long, so I don't know, maybe is it because maybe Ellie is a boy, everybody? I'm not 100% sure, but let me know what you guys think. Do you think it's because she's a boy? And I've had her for, like I said, for about 6 years now. So that is a possibility, but other than that, if they do, he or she does great. Anywho, we gotta move on to the next one for you. So the next snake, you guys, we have on the list, I don't very often get to show her that often here on the channel, everybody, and that is my girl Sprinkled Cheese here. Look at how itty bitty she is still, everybody. I've had her now for about 1.5 years, maybe 2 years now, and she has put some size on her, which is obviously good. But the only thing is that it's funny, her growth rate's a little bit slower than usual for young garter snakes. Usually by now she'd be about maybe 12-14 inches long, but she's slowly getting some size onto her, and she's been eating like a champ, you guys. She's been eating pinky mice on her own. She never backs down from a meal whatsoever. But the funny thing is about her, everybody, is that when I usually open her cage and first try to take her up, she's got a little bit of an attitude with her, but that's because she's just so itty bitty that she's always gonna have that little attitude with her. I think it's absolutely adorable. And even when she does bite me, I don't even feel it whatsoever. She's just a very, very sweet animal though, and after handling her now for the last literally like 3 or 4 minutes, she's really calmed down now. She's starting to figure out, okay, maybe I'm not gonna get eaten here after all. And I bought this girl from a private breeder. I won't, like, obviously from a breeder in Wisconsin, and she's just absolutely a unique animal, everybody. And she is, yeah, she's about 2 years old now. Hard to believe that. And like I said, you know, this girl, she's got a bit of an attitude. Anyway, I think I actually have another albino garter snake I want to show you guys too. He's a little bit bigger, but he's also pretty old as well. So we're gonna go ahead and show you guys with him here in a moment. Oh, I thought I heard one of the cats scratching at the door. But yeah, this is my girl Sprinkled Cheese, everybody. Isn't she a cutie? Do me a favor, you guys. Give her a little kiss for her, please. Ooh, okay. Maybe not. And we're down to the last one, and some of you have already saw this coming. I did mention it earlier, just in the last clip, that I do have another albino garter snake, and now we're gonna take a little peek at him, see if he comes perching up at me, and sure enough, he does. This, guys, is my guy Tyson, my male albino checker garter snake, and as you can see, he's not as the way Sprinkled Cheese is. He's not so hostile, he's not so ornery, he's more curious of like what's going on in his surroundings. And don't mind the dirty cage, you guys. I'm gonna clean that up here like right away. Now, I've had Tyson now for literally as far as I can remember. He was the very first captive produced snake I ever purchased in my entire life, and I actually purchased him from Brian Barczyk at BHB Reptiles before even the Reptarian was even a thing too at that time. And for those of you guys that don't know, Brian unfortunately succumbed to his hospice, and so positive thoughts to his family and to the crew out there for doing their absolute best to, you know, help him, not only help take care of him, but also help take care of his animals in the zoo, and also continuing the expansion to help build the Legacy Aquarium. And someday we're going to take a road trip to visit there, by the way. Anyway, back to what I was talking about. Tyson here, he is about 7 years old, I believe, 7, 8 years old, somewhere around that range, if I'm not mistaken, and he has just come a long way. He's a pretty chill snake, by the way, and when I try to take him out, he's not too squirmy, but sometimes he can get a little bit skittish if he feels cornered in a way. But as I can see, I'm maintaining a safe distance from him, not trying to push him into the corner where he's like, okay, what's going on here? But other than that, he is just an absolutely amazing animal. And a couple of times, he has bitten me, only a couple times, and over the years of having him, and It's just no big deal though. Garter snakes are usually a pretty harmless species. But yeah, everybody, that is all the animals I got here. So let me know which one you guys actually is your favorite down in the comments below. I mean, I love them all, everybody, but if I had to choose one that had a special spot in my heart, I think it would have to be my girl, Lucy, everybody. There's just something about her that is just very so soft about her. There's no other way else to put it. I mean, literally from the moment she was born, she's just been such a sweet puppy dog. Even though her mother was wild caught, other than that, she's just absolutely a sweetheart. But yeah, like I said, everybody, if you guys have a favorite in the comments down below, don't be afraid to share your guys' thoughts and opinions on that. And like I said, with 2024 already underway, everybody, I would love to actually try and do some more adventure reptile vlogs with you guys later this year. If you guys like that idea, also feel free to share that in the comments. If you guys want to see that, don't be afraid to tell me down below. But right now, with it being wintertime and the coldest time of the year, it's not going to happen. But only a few more months though. We'll see what happens down the road, everybody. So with that, I am going to go ahead and let you all go, everybody. But before I go, make sure you guys smash that like button if you guys can do that, please, because this really would help actually the channel and actually help improve things in the upcoming future. And also, feel free to hit that subscribe button while at that. Alright, everybody, enough chatting for the day. I'm going to let you all go. See you guys next time.